Are you super excited to generate the OpenAPI specification with the help of code first approach? Of course, you are super excited. I know about it. Without any delay, let's get started. To get started, we need to click on these tools and we need to select the option Swagger Hub Explore. Using this tool, first we need to test our APIs. Once the testing is completed, we can generate the OpenAPI specification for the tested APIs. So let me click on this tool and this will take you to another website. Here, before I try to explain about the Swagger Explore, I want to give a very important update. You can see here, there is a banner saying that Swagger Inspector is now Swagger Hub Explore. If I can click on this, you'll be taken to a blog from the Swagger. Here, it is very clear they're trying to say a farewell to the Swagger Inspector. In the place of Swagger Inspector, they're trying to bring a new tool with the name Swagger Hub Explore. The reason why I'm trying to share this information is inside your project or inside your discussions about the OpenAPI specification, sometimes you may hear about a tool called Swagger Inspector. But this Swagger Inspector is deprecated and right now it is entirely removed. In the same place, a new tool came with the name Swagger Hub Explore. This is a latest tool with a few UI improvements. That's what you can also confirm inside this blog. The Swagger team, they sunset the Swagger Inspector on the September 29, 2023. And they want to provide a more powerful exploration experience. That's why they have improvised the Swagger Inspector and renamed that to a name called Swagger Hub Explore. In future, you may not see this banner, but please note that if someone is referring to Swagger Inspector, they are talking about Swagger Hub Explore itself. On this page, we can click on this Start Exploring button. But before we try to explore the Swagger Hub Explore, first, we need to create an account and log in into this website. So here you can give your work email or you can get started with your GitHub account. I'm going to use the GitHub account. That's why I'm going with this option, which is continue with GitHub. As soon as I click on that, I'll be logged in into the Swagger website with my GitHub account. So this is the email that I have used to create the GitHub account. And it is asking me, should I start a free trial? Since this is a commercial tool and we don't want to buy this tool to learn about OpenAPI specification, we can click on this Start Free Trial option and this will take you to the website called explore.swaggerhub.com. Inside this website, it is pretty clear for you. You can test some APIs. The protocol that is supported as of now is REST and Kafka based APIs. Under the operation, you can select what is the HTTP method that your API support. Is it GET API, POST API, port, delete, patch options? Accordingly, you can select the operation and you can give what is the server URL and what is the path of API. After giving these details, you can click on this send button. So to get started with this tool, we have a problem here. What is the problem? We don't have any APIs to test with the help of this Swagger Hub Explore. To overcome this challenge, we can develop APIs, but that's a very lengthy approach and you may not be interested to understand how to develop APIs because you might be coming from a background of Java, Python, JavaScript. That's why we're not going to talk about how to build REST APIs or how to build an API. Instead, we are going to assume some APIs are already available and the same APIs you are trying to test. With that assumption, the next question you may have is, what is the server URL that I have to give here? What is the path that I have to give here to test some already developed APIs? In your real organization, you may have some APIs which might have developed inside dev, UAT or staging environment. You can try to test them if you have access to them. Otherwise, we can use some APIs available inside the web. There are few good websites where they are going to provide some APIs, and when we invoke those APIs, we are going to get a mock response. So let me introduce two such good websites. The very first website is swappy.dev. So what is Swappy? Star Wars API. Someone who is a great fan of Star Wars movies and Star Wars world, they have created API. When we invoke these APIs, we are going to get details about the Star Wars people, Star Wars vehicles, spaceships, planets. So all such details we are going to get with the help of these API. If you are a big fan of Star Wars, you may like this website a lot. If you can scroll down on this website, this is a base URL that we have to follow whenever we are trying to invoke the API that is exposed by this website. So let me take this base URL and paste it inside my Swagger Hub Explore. So here under the server, I'm pasting that, and you can see the domain name, it is identified, and the path API, it is pasted under the path field. After that, whenever you want to test some API, there are multiple options. If you want to understand the details of the people inside the Star Wars, you can click on this people hyperlink, and you can see if you send the request to this with the path as people/1, you are going to get the response like what is the person name, what is his height, mass, hair color, skin color, eye color, birth year, gender, what is his home world, in which movies he has acted. So all such details you are going to get inside the response. So let me take this path and mention inside my Swagger Hub Explore. Since this is an GET API, I need to make sure I have selected the protocol as REST and operation as GET. After that, I'm going to click on the send button. As soon as I click on the send button, I'm going to get a response. You can see this is the response that I have received. Similarly, let's try to test other APIs as well. As a next step, I want to test the API related to the planets. So let me click on these planets hyperlink, and I'm going to take this path and paste it in the place of people. And this time I'm trying to get the details of a planet. So let me invoke this API. This also supports get operation. I'm clicking on this send button, and with that I'm going to get a response saying that what is the name of the planet, what is the rotation period, what is the orbital period, diameter, climate, gravity, terrain, surface water, population. So all such details we are going to get as a response. The next API that we can invoke is related to starships. So if I click on the starship link, I'm going to copy the path of the starships and paste it inside my Swagger Hub Explore, and post that I'm going to click on the send button, and this time I'm going to get the details of a starship in my response, like what is the name, what is the model, who is the manufacturer, cost in credits, what is the length, crew, passengers, cargo capacity. So this is very good information that we are getting with the help of Swappy website. We have tested enough APIs with the help of this website. Let me show you the other website, because by the time you see these lectures, sometimes this website may not be available. That's why I want to give two options. Even if one of the website is down, you can leverage another website for your testing. The next website is recrest.in. So what is rec? Rec means request, rest means response. Inside this website, if you can scroll down, it is going to support many APIs with the help of get, post, put, delete. So there are good amount of methods supported by this website. First, let me try to test some get API. I will try to get list of users with the help of this get API first I have. So this is a base URL. Let me copy that into my Swagger Hub Explore. I'm trying to paste it here. Post that. I'm going to copy this path and mention the same here under the path. The operation that we are trying to invoke is of type get. That's why please make sure you have selected get. Post that. I'm going to click on the send button. And you can see I'm going to get the list of user details as an response. The next API I want to test is of type HTTP post, because as of now we are testing lot many get APIs. Let's try to test a post API as well. For the same, I'll click on this post option, and here I'm going to take the path which is API/users and mention the same here. And after mentioning the path, under the operation we need to select the post. Since it is a post API, we need to mention some requests inside the body. The request is available here in a JSON format. Let me copy this and paste it here. After mentioning the body, please make sure you have this JSON option selected. Now we are good to invoke this API. Let me click on this send button, and you're going to get a 201 response saying that so-and-so user is created and this is the user ID. Now let me test a put operation, which is a kind of update operation. For the same, I'm going to click on this put, and this is the path and this is the body. So let me take this body and paste it here. After that, I'm going to change the operation to put, and the path we need to mention as /API/users/2. And with that, we are good to invoke this API. This time you can see we are getting a 200 status saying that so-and-so user is updated at so-and-so time. With this, we have tested good amount of APIs with the help of Swagger Hub Explore. The similar activity you have to do with your real APIs, but please don't use your production URLs because you may expose some sensitive information to this tool. Instead, use the URL from the dev, UAT or staging environment where you are going to use some test data or mock data. Once you have tested all the APIs, you can go to the history. Under the history, you should be able to see all the APIs that you have tested with the server URLs and the path URLs along with their status. So please make sure all the history is populated. Sometimes it may take 1 or 2 minutes to populate under the history. I hope you are clear up to this point. In the next lecture, let's try to understand how to generate the OpenAPI specification based upon the API history that we have tested. For your reference, I'm going to keep these important URL details inside the GitHub repo of the course. Please check if you have any questions. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next lecture. Bye.